Hello guys, welcome to my channel Visa Talks with K. So let's quickly dive into the 18 common F1 visa questions and my recommended creative technique on how best you can handle them without cramming. So guys, welcome back. So this simple technique I'll be sharing with you would guide you on how to respond without cramming, really without cramming. It's simple. It's a popular technique. It's called mnemonics, right? It's used in quick remembrance of things. So I'll be using some of the attributes to guide you so that you could learn faster and better without cramming. And so I've categorized my answers into, or my questions rather, into high value questions and low value questions. So under high value questions, we have 10 of them, which are more like the most likely questions you're going to get the visa officer to ask you during your interview. So the first common question is, what is the purpose of your trip to the United States, or why are you going to the US? Remember, this video would help you learn, not necessarily help you cram. So basically, the first technique is to provide specific details of the university name, the program details, and the value you will get from study in the US. So you could see that I've mentioned, or I've highlighted UPV. So if you, for instance, want to quickly remember how you could answer the question of your purpose of visit to the US, UPV is your answer, which means that you need to discuss in specific details the name of the university, P for the program details, and V for the value you will get. So UPV would be your plug if you'd want to talk about the purpose of your trip to the US. The second question, which is commonly asked, is, why are you pursuing a master's, or why are you pursuing a degree program in the US, or why did you choose the program? Right. So you talk about how the program will aid, first, your career advancement, second, skills development, and thirdly, how the program will support your long-term career objectives, such as, you could mention them. But basically, the keyword that you need to know when you're trying to answer this question is CSL. So C for career advancement, S of course for skills development, and L for long-term career objectives. So basically, if you're trying to answer this question of why you're pursuing your master's degree in the US, why you're pursuing your degree general in the US, you need to speak on these three key items. To tell them how the program will aid your career advancement, how to give you some skills enhancement, and of course how to support your long-term career objective. I know basically, if you could answer this, I mean, if you could add this up with some, peculiar information to you, then be rest assured that you have a very creative answer, rather than thinking of cramming a scripted response, which of course could lead to denial or if you get caught. So the third high value question I would like to share with you is, why have you decided to pursue the degree, the graduate degree, or the program you're going for at this stage of your life? This is quite common for people that are quite of age. I mean, they are like people that maybe they've worked all their life, and all of a sudden they want to go study a PhD program, or they want to go do master. So why now? Basically. So if you're talking about this, you have the point to make on how you believe that this is the right time, because it's your decision, right? So you just make the visa officer know that this is the right time for you to pursue your degree. In addition to the fact that you have good academic background, and you've also gained solid professional experience during the gap period, that is during the period where you've worked extensively without studying. So the keyword here is RAS. Remember, these are just key things that will make you quickly remember, rather than just cramming a scripted write up. So RAS stands for buttressing the right time for you to pursue your degree, also buttressing the academic background, which is A, and also lastly, how you've gained solid professional experience during the gap period. So RAS if you asked a question of why have you decided to pursue a degree at this time, your keyword is RAS. So basically, I hope, I mean, this is quite clear. I've also, for the sake of people that would still want to get your scripted response, but again, I'm not encouraging it. But then I'll give you quite um, um, good, or rather fleshed up responses at the end of this video, so you could also fall back to. But then we'll stick to the technique that we're using now. Then we should, you try to practice with this, then also try to use that as a refresher, not necessarily as your best response or answer. I want you to be creative. That's why I'm trying to make this as possible to be sure that you can get the points clearly. So another high value question that you would most likely be asked is, why can't you pursue your education in your home country? Why can't you, why have you chosen to study in the US rather than another country? So the critical answer you could give to them, a very creative answer, is to talk about how the US offers advanced learning and research opportunities in your specific field. Very simple. Give the visa officer information around how you see the opportunities offered in the US, how advanced they are, and also the vast opportunities or the vast research opportunities that you can explore in your field. So the keyword here is ALR. ALR. ALR, of course, stands for advanced learning. Advanced is the A, learning is the L, then research opportunities is the R. So try to put this at the back of your mind if you asked this similar question. Another question that always pops up is, who is your current employer and what is your role there, right? Basically, very straightforward. OJC is your response, which is the organization's name, your job duties, and how it connects to the current program you're studying. So OJC is your keyword if you'd want to give a very creative and unique response. Another question basically is, how is this study program connected to your previous work experience or academic background? Basically, you just need to mention how the program builds on your academic background, your previous academic background, the relevance to your work experience, and the potentials for specialization. And the keyword there is BRS. So talk about how the program builds on your academic background, your previous academic background, the R for relevance to work experience, and the potentials for specialization, which stands for the S. So basically, if you can remember these keywords, then it can give you what really you need to know, or how you need to tell and sell yourself at during your interview process. So another high value question that is commonly asked is, how did you learn about the university? How did you get to know about the university and the program of study? Basically, RCR is your keyword here. So which talks about how you research online, how you also consulted academic advisors, and how you reviewed the university ranking or program ranking. So basically mention these three keywords in your response and be sure you have a very creative response and convincing response, of course, that would be appealing to the visa officer. Another common question is, what factors led you to select this particular university over others? Basically, the school ratings, the lab resources for the sciences, or the faculty strength, right? So mention these three key things, SLS, as I've termed it to be, to guide your response. Remember, this is a technique that would help you be creative in your response and help you not to cram really. And of course, once you are creative, then you are confident in your answers when you're trying to talk to the visa officer. Also, another common question is, what are your plans after completing your degree? Basically, mention how you will return to take up a specific role or a family position or contribute to specific goals. TFC sounds like KFC, right? So TFC is your keyword if you're trying to convince. And this is a very critical question because you are the onus is on you to prove that you are coming back after your study. So home ties is more of what this question is trying to check. So be sure that you remember TFC, which is the keyword that will help you, come up with your own and remember your own creative response. So lastly, for the high value questions that we have is, you were previously denied a study visa. What has changed, from that time till now? To mention specifically what changed, really, it could be an award or an upgrade of your scholarship. It could be your new travel history. It could be an increase in your personal funds. So I've termed it STP. Of course, S stands for scholarship, T stands for travel history, and P, of course, is the personal fund. So itemize and I have an idea of how you can push these three points together to make up your creative response. Again, you can actually play around this. This is not like you should just always think of, STP. For instance, if you don't have a new scholarship or something, then you should be creative with your own particular situation and how best you can respond to it when being asked. But then this is just a guide for you to be able to come up with your own creative response. These are the 10 high value questions, and we'll be going into the tips for a successful visa interview. Basically, I've got 6 tips here. First, remember, I've been mentioning every now and then, don't memorize, practice. Familiarize yourself with potential questions and practice answering them. Come up with your own script, not following what is scripted, from other people's video, because it's a global video, it's a global stage, so people can also pick that and, God help you if that same person is the next in line and you guys are almost saying the same thing, and it's going to be a red flag for you. So avoid memorizing responses word for word. Instead, focus on understanding your case and speaking naturally. I believe those points I've raised earlier would help you achieve this. Start strong. First impression matters. So the first question sets the tone for your interview. Make a positive first impression by answering confidently and clearly. Your opening response is crucial, and so you should give it your best. That's very clear, right? Always start strong. Don't get carried away with whatever is happening with around you. So just try to start strong and also keep the strong focus. Also, the third point or the tip is, give complete answers. Don't give short answers. It's a general rule for visa interviews. Don't give short answers. Provide answers that fully explains your situation and supports your case for getting the visa approved. Avoid being vague. Instead, offer thoughtful and relevant details. So if you keep your answers too short, then it's almost like likely you're going to get a suspicious response from the visa officer, and that's really, really not good because it will feel more like you're hiding something. So be plain, be open, um, provide points that will help you get your visa approved. Also, the fourth tip is to be confident but not overconfident. Right? Confidence helps you convey your sincerity and preparedness. However, sounding very arrogant or dismissive is not a good signal at all. Maintain a polite and respectful tone throughout your interview. It's very clear. Be confident, but don't be arrogant. The fifth tip is to remember that visa officers are always there to help you. They are not there as adversaries, but then they are there to ensure that they get the right persons that are qualified for the visa. So people always say at times that some visa officers are positioned to always refuse people regardless. Well, they are trained professionals and they are doing everything in the as they've been trained to do, and also in their country's best interest. So demonstrate how your plans align with your purpose of visit. Lastly, be honest and genuine. Always tell the truth. If you lie or appear insincere, the visa officer would likely notice. Of course, once you get caught, then it could jeopardize your application. So be honest, build trust, and strengthen your case. So lastly, here are the low value questions. Remember, they are low value because at times these questions are generally very easy to answer. Really, basically, like how many universities did you apply for during your admission process? You should know that. I mean, obviously, you give them the numbers. How many admission offers did you get after? Did you receive from other universities? Very clear and straightforward. Who is financing your education? How do you plan to cover your expenses? Very, very simple questions, and of course answers you can give. So what is your sponsor's occupation or source of income? You should know that. How were you awarded the scholarship? That if you're a scholarship beneficiary, and what qualifications help you secure it? So another, I mean, low value question is, have you traveled internationally before? You give them very simple as answers as it applies to you. Of course, can you explain any gaps in your education or work history? Answer is very similar questions in the high value questions that I mentioned before. So look at it. They are very straightforward answers that you can give to this low value question. What is your plan to address the remaining tuition or financial deficits, if you have any, rather, if you have any, right? So if you have, I mean, what are your plans, family members, friends, and what have you? So what I've done again, like I mentioned in the early part of this video, is that I'll be sharing you kind of my own creative response. Again, don't cram, don't copy. Try to be as creative as possible so that you can be very confident in responding to your visa, the visa questions and the questions that raised by the visa officer. So here are my response templates. Like I won't be just discussing more on them because I had mentioned that I would rather prefer you don't cram. I rather prefer you to be creative. But again, for how best to answer them, these are my recommended templates that you can actually go through yourself and you know pick out the responses as it deems or as it concerns you. So thank you very much guys for watching. Please, if you watch this video, please like, please share, please subscribe so that the YouTube algorithm can also find the video very useful, and also push it out there for more viewers to see. Until that next video, take care, and I wish you success in your visa interview. Bye bye.